8. That's my fault. Sorry, it's 1 minute past 8. How are we both doing? Liv, Amy, are you okay?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, really good. How's it going, Amy? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Fantastic. Right, we're going to jump straight into it. Amy, first off, I need your autograph. I saw your face in the stand on the show. I don't know if anyone else has seen
I
this. The
know.
question is, were you on the corner at the Newcastle as well? Because I'm sure I saw you on the corner
I
in the
had a
Newcastle
look.
days.
I didn't look at it probably, but I don't think I
Was that
was.
not you
I
there?
might. I don't think so. But
Well,
yeah, no,
I like that even
properly
better.
in the one at Wembley.
Oh, I like that. No, it's always good to get you're there for life now. That's it. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's on City. They're gonna keep replaying it. You'll absolutely love your life. So we're gonna go for a couple of topics today. Pretty standard ones really. International break. Do you know what? I really enjoyed watching England. I really enjoyed us in the competitions. But international break, I still find it extremely hard to get into international breaks. I don't know what it is. I think is that the catalyst of going into it. How do you think our guys did at the internationals, guys? Anyway, any City players jump up for you, Liv, that you thought did well for the countries?
Well, Raheem obviously scored, didn't he? Was it the first game before now?
Yeah.
And all four the lads start in the last game as well. So we just hope they're rested enough, ready for Saturday.
It's a good shout, that actually. Do we have any idea when Phil's going to be back? Because I know he's been doing all sorts of different training, and he's been training in
Yeah.
sand and all sorts, hasn't he, to minimise the pressure on his ankle. Do you two have any idea when he's expecting to be back? Been doing all sorts
I
of
saw
different
something
training,
saying
hasn't he?
he'd be
Been training in
back
sand and all
after the
sorts.
Leicester one.
Right, okay.
But I saw he might be on the bench this weekend, so I'm not sure. Hopefully.
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great to see him on the bench, wouldn't it?
Laporte, didn't they, at the weekend as well?
Laporte, is he
He went
definitely
off.
out?
I think he played 90 minutes. Was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or the day before he played 90 minutes after Okay, then he his might be. injury, but I'm not really sure.
It's one of them, though, isn't it? I don't think Pep would risk him. I think if there's any kind of knocks, I think when we've got a strong enough squad, that's if everyone fit. I'm just a bit worried about, because let's face it, Jamie Vardy's going to score against us. That's an absolute cast iron. So we need to give them a 1-0 goal straight away. So that makes us think we're going to have, because John Stones went off as well. Do you have do you two know anything about John Stones' update?
I haven't think he's all right.
Was he okay?
Yeah.
Is he? Did he not go off injured?
I think Cody started warming up and he went down and it looked like he just twisted his ankle or something. But I think he stayed on in the end.
Well, we got to be positive about that. We got to be positive about that. Then one lad I want to mention for international duty is Torres.
I knew
Honestly,
you were going to.
I don't know what it is about that lad, but I could just see him being at Hull City for the next 10 years and absolutely smashing records. He's so good. I know you like Torres, don't you, Liv?
I love Fran Torres. I love it. Yeah.
It's hard not to, really. Do you think he could ever be our number 9, our central striker? Do you think he's got it in him?
Well, did you see the statistic about him and David Silva being the only two? He's the first Spanish player to reach 6 goals in a single year, apart from David Silva.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's reached 6, and David Silva had 7, but they're the only two that have made it past 6
That's
in a single season.
pretty impressive, actually, isn't it? It just looks like he's got everything going for him. He's got his positional sense. He knows where the net is. He can pass. He always has a smile. Every picture I see him playing, and anyway, he always seems to have a smile on his face, which is fantastic to see from our side.
Last season, I don't think he was our strongest, and I think a lot of people have kind of been a bit unsure of him. But this season, I think he's come back stronger since the Euros. He's got something different about him this season. He scored in both home games. Obviously, the first one was offside, but I think he's doing so much better this season. I don't really have any worries about him yet.
Do you think that's a maturity thing? Do you think he's kind of growing into his body and he's growing into his own confidence about being able to play better? Do you think there's something there about being that year older and a bit more confident? Saying that, when you play with City's first team, you're going to learn a few tricks, aren't you? You are going to develop a bit as a player.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. How is he? 21. I think he's only young,
yeah,
isn't he? He's still got plenty of time, but I think he'll have a bit of confidence as well, knowing how well he's doing both for Spain and City at the minute. So yeah, he's smashing it. I think.
Do you reckon he'll play this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see why he shouldn't. He's done so well for Spain. I think he'll be definitely.
I can't wait for this. The interesting one I want to talk to you about is it's kind of the massive elephant in the room, and I've literally come straight into this from doing some work, so I've kind of been blindsided today with watching the news. It's over the last couple of days about Brazil, the Brazilian management stopping the Brazilian players playing, and it just seems absolute pettiness. from Brazil to do this. Has there been any update in the last couple of hours that I've not seen? Is that still going ahead? Have we still got Lord Scott Carson in net on Saturday?
As far as I know, yeah.
It's bonkers. There must be something we can do.
But they have been training. Scott Carson's not been at training, and Gabriel Jesus and Edison have been.
That's interesting. So Scott Carson hasn't been with the first team
Yeah.
training?
The first day that this was announced was yesterday. That it all came out about this. Gabriel Jesus and Edison were in training.
Right,
And
okay.
Scott Carson.
That's,
So I don't know if that means anything, but
because I saw about Richarlison at Everton being able to play because Everton released him for the Olympics. I think you said, Amy, the other
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
didn't you? Which it just seems a massive amount of pettiness, and I just can't get my head around it. What do they want? Are they doing it for negotiation tactics? Are they just doing it just to be wankers? I can't understand it.
I think it proves that they're being petty, that they're letting Richarlison still play. It is just a case of, oh, you didn't let them come, so you're not going to get them either. If we can't have them, you can't, I think.
I just don't get that. It's kind of stunting them, and the players themselves. They must be thinking, hang on a minute, I want to play for my club. I want to try. That can't reflect greatly on. I mean, you've got to be saying to ourselves here, we've got to be putting pressure on the players to put pressure on their management teams in Brazil to be able to say, hang on a minute, this isn't right. It's not fair. Not fair in any way whatsoever. I just hope it rectifies it.
it puts us at a massive disadvantage as well. Like, obviously, other clubs have got it just as bad. Liverpool have got 3 players out, haven't they? But at the end of the day, it's our first keeper, and then our second keeper's got COVID. So it's not really fair. And I know you can't. We're still one of the best clubs in England, if not the best. So, but Leicester aren't far behind us at the minute, and I just don't think it's that fair. Like, they know how much it's going to impact us.
Massively. Let's face it, Leicester have got just as much chance to put a win past us as any other team. They're a bit of a danger team for me, Leicester. I think they've got a lot going for them. And I say about Vardy, got a bit of a stat here. Has a good time to talk into that. None of the past 11 league meetings between Leicester and City have finished in a draw, with Saturday's away side winning 7. So we've won 7 games in the last 11. So we've not got such a bad record against it. But I thought the stats would be a bit worse than that, actually.
I think it's just because
They're a tough team.
they've been more recent, the losses as well, because obviously Community Shield and last season.
Yeah.
So 2 in the last 3 we have lost against them. So I don't know if that makes it feel like it's more.
Yeah, it's a good shout, actually. Sorry, mate, I've got a new puppy, and she's absolutely ripping up the carpet here.
Oh.
Say hello. Say hello, it's Penny. Say hello.
Oh.
Do you know what? I tried my hardest to try and get a city name, but it's really hard with girl names. I was going for like Sergio and Company and all the rest of it, but we had to settle for Penny. I was outvoted for that one, sadly. Right, moving into the game against Leicester then. What's your thoughts? What's your gut feeling about the game then? I'm not nervous going into this, which for me is a worry at the best of times. Amy, what's your thoughts? Where are we going to be able to get our win from on Saturday? Where's it going to come from?
Very worried. Well, I think Grealish and Torres are going to have an outstanding, because Gabby's been one of our best players this season. He's got 1 goal and 3 assists already.
Yeah.
So if we are missing him, and if Carson does play, he doesn't play the same. He's not really that sweeper keeper. He's played once in the past 10 years. Like
And that was last season. Was that Newcastle last season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to it.
I think that it'll massively depend on the defence as well, how they're going to perform, because I think Ruben Diaz and whoever, whether it's John Stones or Laporte, I think they're just going to have to really step up, which I don't have any doubt that they will. But I think it'll massively depend on their performance as well, because when we played Newcastle with Carson in net, 2 of the 3 goals that they scored, I think, were defensive errors, because obviously one was a penalty. And so I think it will just be down to the back 4, potentially, on how they perform.
You're right there, because there's a lot to be said about, actually, it's all well and good having a fantastic goalkeeper, but if we have got our third choice goalkeeper, I'm not necessarily worried about that, because the defence we've got in front of them is actually, you know what, if they know they need to step up their game even more, that's quite a formidable defence, really. We just need to stop the long shots potentially.
And it was a 1-0 win in the Community Shield as well, and that was down to Nathan Ake with a penalty.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like it was massively the defensive fault. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, I forgot about Ake. I forgot about that. I could see Ake playing as well on Saturday. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Liv, what do you think will be our defence? Do you think? I mean, Walker's got to start, and he's
Yeah.
a phenomenon.
I think it'd be Ruben Diaz, obviously. And then obviously we don't know what's happening with, like you were saying, Amy, about John Stones the other day. Obviously the port went off, but he then played 90 minutes. So I think it could be either of them. I couldn't call it. What do you think?
I reckon he'll play Laporte. I don't know why, but I think because he's played has he played 2 or 3 games this season? And I feel like when someone's playing that well, you can't really go and drop them.
And he's done all right for
harsh.
Spain, hasn't he? I've seen some cracking
Yeah.
tackles he's put in. So he seems on it this year. He seems to come back a bit of a man possessed, which I love to see. Do you think he's come back like that because there's been so many rumours about him wanting to leave or potentially leaving, not necessarily wanting to leave? We never heard him come out and say he wants to leave.
I think he had to earn his place a bit again, didn't he? Because John Stones and Ruben Diaz last season were a force to be reckoned with at the back. And I think everyone was worried that he'd been kind of replaced because obviously he was injured. So I think he's come back fighting for his place potentially.
So, Amy, I'm going to pass this book on to you. Left back, who are you thinking? You going to go for Zinchenko, or are we going to go for Cancelo?
I really, really like Zinchenko, but I'd want Cancelo starting just because for Portugal, was it against Azerbaijan? Was it? Those 2 nutmegs.
Oh, that was dirty.
He's been on top form recently, and Zinchenko's not had that much game time for us this season. So I think it's such a tough game. I think Cancelo.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's on our Twitter, and I'll share it on the Facebook and YouTube sites as well. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the timing of that was amazing.
Was it when he megged him?
Yeah, twice. There's 2, wasn't it? Who was it? Azerbaijan? Did you say?
I think so.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got it here. I'll just say it. Yeah, he just kind of pulls it back, megs, and runs onto another lad, and he does a little flick, doesn't he? He kind of passes it onto one foot to the other flick. So yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. Where's the danger points with Leicester? I think we know with the quick on the counter. They're always going to boo Mahrez, aren't they? That's an absolute given at some point. They're always going to do that. Where do you think, Liv, we're going to face the biggest danger from Leicester?
I think it'll be, if they score early, it'll be tough for us to get 2 back. Because I think Scott Carson, bless him, I think he will lose his confidence if they put one past him early on. And so I think it's just important to get the first goal and then just see where it goes from there. Just fingers crossed, I guess. I think it'll be an even game. I think it's just whoever shows up on the day.
Yeah, and what do you reckon, Amy?
I think that we've got to be really, really clinical because I don't think we're going to get that many chances because I think Johnny Evans is back in training. I think Pereira's back in training and is it Vestergaard?
Vestergaard, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're all back in training, in contention to start, and obviously Schmeichel's so good. So the chances that we do get, we have to finish them.
Yeah, I really rate Schmeichel. Not just as a footballer, but as a human. Whenever he talks, he just comes across so well, doesn't he? And he's a proper club captain. I really like Schmeichel.
Back in training. Is Kevin De Bruyne back?
I am not
sure.
sure.
Something about him being on the bench again.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Midfield. Moving on to midfield. Are you playing Fernandinho? Are you playing Rodri? Who are you thinking?
Rodri, I think.
I think it's a strong Rodri count, isn't it? And going forward, would you go for the front three? Would you have? You thinking Torres? Would you have Sterling and Mahrez, or would you have what are you thinking?
I'd go Sterling and Grealish probably, just because I worry, especially being away at Leicester, they're going to be loud towards Mahrez. I just don't. If Pep thinks he can take the pressure of however many fans in his ear the entire match, then. But I think Sterling, exactly. And I think Sterling was brilliant for England, so
yeah,
I had to drop him, and I think you've got to play Grealish really.
He was amazing as well when we played him at Wembley as well. Sterling, obviously, Grealish was subbed on, and he was like just straight in there, and so I think
I'm looking here. The Omens are good for us, should I say? We've won the past 2 Premier League games against Leicester, but have not won more away league victories against Leicester in the last 5 since 1934-59. Bloody hell, Christ, that's a while ago. So basically, we could break another record this weekend if we go in and get 3 points against him. I don't normally do predictions, but I'm doing predictions this year. I'm not overly worried about Leicester. I think they have got some fantastic players, but I don't know. There's something about Brendan Rodgers' side that I think capitulates too easy. I'm going to go for 2-0 City. I'm going to go for 2-0. What do you think, Liv?
Oh, I'll say 2-1. I think we will concede, but I don't think they'll beat us.
Jamie Vardy, isn't it? All over.
Yeah, I think we'll probably score first, and then potentially let one slip, come back. Hopefully, anyway.
Amy, what are you thinking?
I was gonna say 2-1 Leicester, but
oh, what?
I'm gonna flip it. I'll go 2-1 City as well. I think I'll flip it. Yeah.
It's going to be a tricky one. I mean, I'm looking at the league table now, and we'll start wrapping it up soon. But I'm looking at the league table now. Obviously, we only played 3 games. It's still dreadful. It still grates me to see that red L at the beginning, isn't it? It's still so frustrating. We got Spurs in first place, West Ham in second, United in third, Chelsea in fourth, Liverpool in fifth. Do I dare say we need to win this? This is a must-win game. Is it too early to start saying the games are must-wins?
I don't think we want. If we lose, we don't want 2 losses out of 4, do we? That's not good.
I think this is the type of game where I wouldn't accept a draw either. I think we've got to go out. We've got to go out and absolutely smash them. I think we really need to. Our goal difference is the best in the league at the minute. We're within 7th place. You can't really look at the positioning, can you? Really, at the moment, where it stands. But we've got to go in and we've got to go and hit them hard. I'm almost inclined to say I know I've predicted a 2-0 win, but I think the first goal wins this. I think you're right, Liv, with what you said before about if Carson is in there and he's not feeling wholly confident, and we do concede, I think we might be up against it. But I've got a sneaky suspicion the Premier League and the Brazilian FA are having conversations as we speak. There's going to be some kind of negotiation somewhere, isn't there? Whether it's financial remuneration, and I think it's just a bit of a silliness, really. And I think we're making Brazil look a bit stupid as well. So they need to sort it out. I think we'll see Gabby and I think we'll see Ederson start on Saturday. I just can't see it not happening. It's the players are just worth too much to all the teams, aren't they? Apart from Fred at United.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the fixture out, and it's 3:00 on Saturday.
Yeah, bonkers, that, isn't it?
And it's got that they're showing. I think it's like, is it Tottenham Palace or something like that? Is that?
Yeah, for 12:30 kickoff, Tottenham Palace, and then the late kickoff is 5:30, Chelsea versus Villa.
But they've only put 1 game on Sunday, which I don't understand.
That's Leeds, isn't it? Leeds and
Liverpool.
That's bizarre.
I don't understand why we wouldn't be 2:00 on Sunday. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. There must be a TV reason for that or something. But it seems like they're missing an opportunity there, doesn't it, to stick something on telly. Might just be what it is. Hey, let's go for it. Right, so we're going for 3 wins. I'm happy with that, guys. And I suppose no injuries. I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? If we get through this without any injuries and picking up any silly knocks to our key players, I think it'd be great. I'm looking forward to a Grealish masterclass. I think he's so good. I'm so chuffed we signed him. I still find it bonkers that the Twitterati, Liv, you've seen this probably more than I have, are still going on about us not spending more money, etc., etc. But I think our transfer window is fantastic. I think the ability to bring him in and sign him was great. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved another striker, but
hopefully we can save it for Haaland. Hopefully.
Can you see us signing Haaland? What's your gut, honest feeling of that? Because I just can't see it happening.
I think obviously we've put a few bids in this summer or tried to, and just been knocked and knocked and knocked and knocked. So I think it'll just depend on how we do this season. I think if we get the Champions League, touch wood, then I think he would come. But I think if we're just getting the Carabao again or the FA Cup, I don't think he would come because he wants big trophies, doesn't he? And as much as the Carabao's a big trophy.
Yeah. The only thing I've got for the signing of Haaland is his agent just seems to be a massive weapon, and I just can't see us wanting to deal with him.
Well, he was asking for a lot more money, wasn't he, last time? His dad was asking for stuff as well.
Right, yeah, and City don't play that game, do they? City just don't seem to want to entertain that, and that makes me think he's going to go. Don't get me wrong, I'd be fuming if he went to United or Liverpool or Chelsea. I'd be absolutely gutted. I'd rather he went to Spain, obviously, or even to Munich. Even to Munich. That seems like the natural progression for him, doesn't it? But I can see the Barcelonas of the maybe they can't afford him now, or the Real Madrids signing him.
When you're just saying then about being gutted if he went to like United, Liverpool, someone said to me at work the other day, because I was on about Cristiano Ronaldo, and they were saying, like, well, can you imagine if Aguero turned around in a couple of years and went to finish his career off at United? Like, we'd be completely gutted, wouldn't we?
Oh.
And so it works. Surprised he didn't come to us anymore. Like that, but it's understandable. Like,
yeah.
Like
A couple of this when Sergio turns around and dribbles through the United defence and scores an own goal, an absolute worldie. That's when we know his true colours. But right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Love talking to you, and love the fact we've got a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. It's not on telly, is it? That's the only. Is there any way we can watch it apart from the illegal streams, which we can't watch, obviously? Can we? Fuming. Right, never mind. Listen, Blues, thanks so much for joining us. We'll speak to you soon. Catch you.